Hey YouTube, I just wanted to make a quick video on how to fish soft plastics and Senkos. Just because I've seen a lot of videos on YouTube and they don't go into as much detail as some important key things that I noticed and that I've learned from fishing. I want to let you know that in the end of this video I do catch a fish, so you're not wasting your time. You get to see me catch a fish using this technique that I'm going to try to teach you and kind of inform you a little bit more about today. I do a really slow retrieve. You just saw me cast it. What I do is I let it sink to the bottom. I might give it a few twitches of the rod there, but basically my retrieve goes like this every time. Cast it out, let it sink, keep the rod tip low and the line taut. The line being taut is basically if you reel in slowly, just to give it a little reel to see if there's any slack in the line. If you see the water surface at the end of your line break, that means that the line is taut. You don't need to reel it in anymore. Now what I'll do is I'll slowly lift the rod tip up as you're seeing me do now, and that's typically when I'll get the bite. And because of that, a really important thing that a lot of videos don't go into detail about or cover at all is not going up too high during your retrieve. You don't want to bring the rod all the way up to the top of your shoulder, because then if you do get a bite right then and there, you're going to have to then lower your rod to set the hook because you've already ran out of room, which means that now there's slack in your line. Okay, so what you want to do is just go up until you feel comfortable. You don't need to keep lifting it up. Just go up until you feel comfortable, until you feel like, okay, at this point I could set the hook safely, but any more than this I wouldn't be able to really get a good hook set. Then just drop it back down towards the water and reel in the slack as you do that. I thought that was a really important thing to go over, just because there are, like I said, other videos on YouTube about fishing soft plastics, and they don't tell you those kind of things. You got to kind of learn them as you're fishing. So I just wanted to give you guys that information for before you get out there and start fishing soft plastics. A lot of people say that they don't like to use soft plastics, and to me, honestly, I fished crankbaits for a very long time, and I think that soft plastics are harder to fish than crankbaits, just because they're all about feel. They're not about just reeling it in and getting a fish. And there you see me getting it stuck on a rock. So basically, kind of what the bite feels like. A lot of people say that you won't feel the bite. You will feel the bite. It'll feel like a tap tap, or kind of like you getting it stuck on a rock. So you'll see me a couple times in the video here trying to set the hook, but it's actually just a rock. Okay, but it feels the same. So it's safer to try to set the hook than to not, An important thing is letting it sink back down to the bottom every time. Every time on the retrieve, I basically, after I cast it out, it makes that initial splash into the water. I let it sink down to the bottom just in case I scared off any fish, and that, to see if they'll come back. And as I do my retrieve is typically when I'll get a bite. There you see me getting it stuck again. So key important things: rod tip down at the water because it gives you more room to set the hook, more degrees of motion there. Keep the line taut so that you have sensitivity, you can feel those bites, and don't lift the rod too high where it's uncomfortable, if you feel like it'd be uncomfortable or awkward for you to set the hook. Trust me, when you get a bite, you'll instinctively set the hook, and you'll know that you have a fish. The other thing here too is you see me checking the worm, checking my Senko, just because soft plastics do get messed up in the water, especially from false hook sets. If you bang them against a rock, the worm might slide down on the hook. The hook may become exposed if you're fishing a weedless like I have to. So don't be afraid to check on your Senko every now and then, or your soft plastic, and re-rig it basically. Make it more presentable for the fish, okay? Because they do want more of a kind of like a natural looking, like as if it was an actual worm, or as if it was an actual crawdad. They don't want it to be like bent and weird looking. So thank you for watching this video. I hope that you take these tips into account, and like I said, at the end of this video here, shortly coming up, you'll be able to see me catch a fish using this slow retrieve technique that I use, and I hope that you learned something from the information that I provided you. Thank you for watching. Oh, fish on. A little bit. Oh, woo.